goes down low. The 79 gets caught up in it just at the very end. The 67, though, of Nathan Stanley makes it on through free and clear. He, Paul Verdiani, and Larry Dickerson having a drag race down to the for one last attack, getting underneath him, not quite able to make it stick, having to lift once again. Into exit of turn number 4, down onto the front straightaway here. Who's going to win it with the drag race? It's going to be Timothy Pope. First 3 and 4, 751 with a hefty lead here, about a half a car length as the one gets up into the wall with the run down. 200 feet. It's going to be a close one across the line. Garrett Welsh made it 3 wide on the far outside lane, picking up spots left and right here as everybody fighting for every single spot we go. Coming across the line, white flag, so here we go, final lap.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Hello and welcome in everybody to some Sunday night racing action, where this is the final chance for these drivers to make it into that final top 10 into a couple of weeks championship race here for the NTRL Super Speedway Series, coming at you live from iRacing Super Speedway here tonight. As always, we like to thank the proud supporters of the NTRL, like tonight's race sponsor, Gulf Coast Sands. Be sure to go check them on out. Where by plane, train, and automobile, they'll send you the best filled products from that Gulf Coast area, man. And it just doesn't get much better than that. Ship right to your door. So be sure to head on over and check out Gulf Coast Sands here today. Of course, we also have to thank the other great supporters like Davidson Builders up there in that northern New Jersey area. Be sure to go check them on out, whether you're looking to maybe do a whole home remodel, put on an extension, or just changing out that kitchen sink. Be sure to go and hire the pros over there at Davidson Builders. Of course, DEP Graphics as well. I know Dana Poachlog is out there in the chat letting y'all know that, since September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month here for September, be sure to go and check out the paints that he sent a link for, and there's also a suit and helmet and all that kind of stuff, so you can go ahead and show off the fancy colors, and as well as show your support for a fantastic cause. All a big thank you to DEP Graphics, some fantastic paint schemes all the time coming out of that garage. Thank you guys for jumping on board here. Of course, big thank you as well to Sim Gear Central. Be sure to go check them on out for some fantastic button boxes and all that kind of stuff over there. They do some fantastic work, whether it's to aid your life in iRacing, or maybe it's farm sim, truck sim, flight sim, or even the Simpsons. Be sure to head on over there and check them on out and get yourself a fantastic button box here today. Of course, Track Bar Media as well. Some fantastic photo and video edits of real life and sim life racing. Be sure to go check them on out and give them a whole bunch of support as they support the NTRL here today. Of course, we also have to say a huge thank you to Martin Sports as well. Oh man, just everybody's got so much good stuff going on. They got a whole bunch of great jerseys and custom sporting apparel and some race gear as well for all your sim racing needs. So be sure to head on over to Martin Sports and get customized and start being and looking like a team here today. As always, I am Alan Brown, and I am slowly dying of heat stroke over here. My bedroom is about 7,000 degrees. I am joined, however, by the Brewmaster in general, Mr. Alan English, here tonight. And Alan, we're starting to wind things down here this season, which means things getting turned on up slowly back up to 11 as we take a look here and see what these fellas have in store for us here tonight from IRSS Super Speedway.
Yeah, earlier in the season here, we saw the guys running here at iRacing Super Speedway, and it was one of the cleanest races we'd ever seen here. And maybe trying to do it again here tonight. It might be a tall order now that these guys are all fighting for those last playoff spots. So I don't know if tonight will be quite as clean, as guys are going to be really fighting for every position out there on the track tonight. This 3-mile monster of a track. This place is just, it's crazy, ridiculous, huge, and dangerous. And I think there's a reason they never built this place in real life, is because there'd be guys getting killed every week. I mean, it's just crazy out here. But here in the virtual world, it means more fun for us, right? So looking forward to this race here at iRacing Super Speedway.
That indeed is down there on pit road is our anger management specialist himself, Mr. Adam Turner, all locked in and loaded. And here we go once again, Mr. Turner, all ready for some high flying, high anger, high emotions coming from IRSS.
Yeah, let's see some hate. Let's see some anger. I have air conditioning. English, I'm sure it's nice and cool. I'm sorry that you're suffering out there. Of all the places, you're the farthest north. We're the ones that should be suffering, not you. But yeah, you got to get that squared away. No air conditions, no bueno this time of year. Labor Day weekend, man. This is where the common man. This is our holiday, right? The laborers. Isn't that what it's for? Or is it for like the Labor Party? I don't know. Well, why do we have this?
The Labor Party.
I don't know, but I think it's for the regular folk like us. So let's celebrate it and have some fun tonight. Hopefully somebody will like try to fight, or threaten to fight or be mad about something. It's a 3-mile track, isn't it? It's like 3 miles, 70 laps, 210 miles total if I did the math real fast. Look how fast that was. Man, 3rd grade math is really paying off. Anyway, yes, that is correct, but not about much. It's not like a very slim area in life. All right, let's go over the rules. I know we're running just a touch behind. 1 fast repair, 65% fuel, 3 sets of tires total. You don't need them. 18 incident points, you get a penalty. 25 incident points, you'll get a disqualification. And it's 117. The track is hotter than hell.
And that indeed it is, just like here. It is here in my bedroom, but otherwise, some beautiful weather to be had here in the simulation world. Bringing us down here to tonight's key to the race, and this is your final chance to get in. You got to leave it all on the line. If you're one of those guys on the outside looking in, get that win, and you're gonna find yourself inside that kind of like that final top 10 or whatever. And if you're already up inside that top 10, oh, just hang on to your bucket hat and get ready to roll.
Yeah, if you're one of the guys that's close, you're on the bubble there, do not get a DNF tonight. Take care of your machine, stay out of trouble.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to. Although I do think they repaired or did something when they did an update with turns 2 and it 1 and 3. It's 1 and 3 where there's a bump. I think they kind of got rid of that thing. It's not quite as pronounced.
Smoothed it out, yeah.
Which I really like that because death was coming. 1 and 3. At some point in the race, you were going to see mayhem, and maybe they've taken that out completely. I don't know, but I know this. This is a fake track, but it's in Boston. Here's the deal: I don't know anything about Boston. I've never been there. I think it's cool. Whatever you want to sing Caroline, do all this. Let's have another real tea party. Like let's throw the tea into the harbor again because the tax is what they're trying to do to us. The common man, they're trying to take us out. So we need to have another tea party in some kind of form or fashion. That's my Labor Day expression.
Throw some of these rich men north of Richmond into the bay.
Well, we'll see. That's where you start getting into trouble. Now, I don't want to cause no trouble. But yeah, same thing. It's a disgrace what's happened. I'm paying for all that, and I just want to have fun here watching this race, Brown.
That indeed. Speaking of the race, the drivers getting all locked and loaded into their cars here tonight. Starting us off for your starting grid, the one of DW, getting things kicked off on pole position. He's got the 51 Chris Klein starting to his outside. Looks like you got Paul Durkee having a fantastic Spartan spot up there in third. Tate Cawthorn as well, starting there in fourth. Scott Milner in the 31 machine starting in fifth, with Paul Ferdiani, the Gambler, starting in sixth. Got Mark Collins, the Mac Daddy, starting here tonight in seventh, with Justin Lawson to his outside there in eighth. Ninth will be Mr. Chris Jordan, with Zeth Hawley in the 48 machine starting on his outside there, rounding out the field's top 10.
Double nickel machine of Tom Barish will start in 11th. Outside row number 6, Skylar Harrod in the 3. The 99 America's driver, Albert Anderson, starting in 13th place. 14th will be Connor Leach in the 98. The 76, Patrick Mahaney will start 15th. 16th will be Kevin Winker in the 42. 00 Joe Bennett and Anthony Williams in the 00 and the 5, respectively, make up row number 9. And row number 10 is going to be the 6 of Joe David and the 19 of Brandon Colton.
Nick Biddy, 21st. PJ Cox, 22nd. Tristan Cotton, 23rd. Josh Kelleher, 24th. Mike Adamson, 25th. Joshua Moore, 26th. And everybody's favorite from Tennessee, Timothy Stubblefield, rounds this one out.
And there you go, just in the nick of time as the pace car peels off down onto pit road, which means it's time to rumble as we get going to the green flag for the first time here tonight, as the 88 machine gets a little loose behind the 51, but we are off and rolling here, spreading their wings on down through that start-finish stretch into turns 1 and 2. Like you said, they smoothed out that corner, so it wasn't as violent as it used to be, but again, these guys are still just getting up to speed. Yeah, they're at 200 miles an hour, but that don't mean nothing. These guys are going to be hitting 250 before you know it. The one in DW is still trying to hang on that bottom side to this lead, with a great push here from that 31 of Mr. Scott Milner, getting him all pushed on around. You also got that 23 of Mark Collins trying to jump into line there as well. 98 of Connor Leach trying to shuffle things along up there on that high side here as well, racing the Rainbow Warrior paint scheme here tonight, trying to get things all locked and loaded up there on that far outside lane as the field completes lap number 1.
Saw some guys already trying to go 3 wide there, and thank you for everybody who's joining us over there in the YouTube chat. Dan Poachlog out there, Josh Kelleher, Tower Operator pulling for his guys out there. That'd be the 18 and the 42. So thank you guys for joining us. Derek Welch says, now we're jinxed. English mentioned the last race here and how clean it was. Yeah, well, maybe I just undid the jinx. How about that? Maybe.
You can't
not.
You can't undo the jinx by trying to re-jinx it.
Maybe not. Oh, I guess we've got music playing there, Brian.
No, we don't.
Oh, okay.
I was ahead of him. Well, I was behind, but whatever. Either way, we're still locked and loaded with the 51 machine, running things up here, up at the front as some big-time pushing happening as a whole scatter shot happens through this field as people are bobbing and weaving, trying to shuffle their way back up through this field. You can see there the 00 Joe Bennett trying to make some moves, moving on up 14 spots here up into third right now, making his move down there on the bottom side. He does have a little bit of help there before trickling back on up. Man, everything is just getting all hectic and chaotic down there.
It's not going to stay civil forever, I don't think. I'm not sure we're going to see a race like we did last time here, Turner, but...
Well, and you were talking about 2 wide. Well, you could pretty much go 4 wide here if you had the talent to do it, you know. It's a huge track. 2 wide's no problem. 3 wide starts to become a problem, and then 4 wide is just pure mayhem. But right now, what they've done with the track, getting rid of those bumps in 1 to 3, I think has really changed the game of this super speedway.
Yeah, I think you are right in that aspect of things. Here's the 51 machine. Chris Klein still leading around the 88 of Tate Cawthorn. You got the 48 of Seth Hawley there in tow. Here comes that 3 of Skylar Herod as well, starting to shuffle his way up through the field, as well as the 99 of Albert Anderson there in his Aflac machine, getting his way up towards the front. The 1 being pushed by the 00, trying to get back up to try to race against Chris here side by side. But you also got some great movements going on here kind of towards the tail end of the field. You got that 92 of Timothy Stubblefield in a little bit of some traffic, and he's just trying to keep that car clean for right now, watching things out that front window unfold in front of him here. A couple 2 wide. We even got some 3 wide way on up there.
3 wide indeed. These guys are fighting it out for sure here early. Tracy Cotton's here, so she's pulling for the 77 of Trister out there. Mama's here, she says. Let's
All
go.
right. Cool. Hey, is that the meaning for the holiday? It's for the laborers, right? I mean, for us peasants, they gave us a day.
Yeah.
Isn't that correct? The elitists, the elite, they said, "Hey, you peasants, you losers, we're gonna give you 1 day, and that's
day for the year.
Labor Day." Yeah, the elitists versus the peasants. We really live in a caste system. I don't know.
Society.
We do. I mean, it's they act like we aren't, but that's what we're in. Anyway, to racing, I don't want to. Bruce, that's for later on in the race. I've been enjoying my Labor Day.
I don't know if you caught that there, Mr. English, but the 98 and the 42 actually made some side-by-side contact coming on down the back straightaway there, and the 98 getting a little loose, but able to snag that machine back up underneath him. It also looks like his back end's been beaten in pretty good, like you can see here. The 48 of Seth Hawley as gets to his back bumper as he shuffles back in the line.
As long as he stays behind somebody, I don't think that damage is really going to hurt him too terribly bad. As long as he's not caught leading the line or something, I think he should be okay for now. Hopefully he can make it to the first pit stop here.
Look at all these paint schemes, though. These are, wow, there's some new ones. Adamson, he's got a Florida State paint scheme. They're playing LSU right now.
They are. It's tied 7-7 at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah. There's some other ones. Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. I know there's a driver out there with that. That would be Josh Kelleher in the 73.
Very cool. Love that cause.
Absolutely.
Nothing will bring a tear to your eye more than watching those commercials. You know what I mean?
Oh,
you know the commercials. They're the worst.
Dudes and stuff, yeah. Oh, Albert Anderson got touched by his teammate there, or former teammate, and there he goes. There goes the 89 around. Caution's out.
Oh.
89 of Adamson going for a wicked spin, bringing us down back to a yellow flag. Thankfully, it doesn't look like anybody got too heavy of some contact there, so I think damage is considering the 250 miles an hour that these guys are running.
Oh, yeah.
Not too bad out here. Go ahead and kind of watch what happens.
Well, how did Albert save it? Albert saved that. That was crazy. And Adamson slowed down a little bit, and they just caused a checkup, and no big deal. Nobody's mad about it.
And it's my bad. They're still teammates over here. This is All-Star Racing. Mike Adamson.
I can't keep up with all the teams.
Early season stuff.
Yeah, it's hard to.
Oh yeah, it looks like the 77 of the Tristan Cotton getting some damage from that, as well as we go ahead and take a look here from the viewpoint of Mr. Chris Jordan, as I think he gets to see a little bit of that wiggle action going on down below him. But yeah, we were saying there about Albert Anderson. Yeah, his car looked like he was a piranha trying to swim up the stream in the Amazon, just whipping back and forth. I don't know how he was able to hang on to it.
That reminds me. You remember when all those piranhas ate Richard Pryor in the toy? Oh, that was so funny. Remember when he was swimming and the piranhas got him? Oh, man, I love that movie. Yeah, I don't know how he held it together there, though. You're going 230 miles an hour at minimum coming out of that corner. And to keep it straight, that was a great job by America's driver, Albert Anderson.
It's like everybody coming down to top off of fuel. Does that look like what's happening here?
Yes.
To you guys?
That's what's happening right now. I'm at the beer booth, but it seems like everybody's just coming down to get a splash of fuel.
That's what it looks like. Well, especially at large tracks like this, you'll take a free pit stop anytime that you can. As 48 is Zeth Holly with a quick one in and out. He's going to have the 42 Kevin Winker follow him. And then 00 Joe, 51 of Chris Klein, then DW in the 1, 3 of Skylar Harrod, followed by the 88, 18 Joshua Moore, and 32 of Nick Biddy with the residential Canadian over here, Connor Leach, bringing up the top 10 here as they exit the pit lane.
Thank you, Haley and Friends Club Penguin, for being here, for pulling for Tristan out there. And Drew Blaze says, I'm just here to watch PJ Cox wreck. Shots fired.
I told Drew. Listen, do you think the Canadians, do they follow the Labor Day holiday or no?
They probably have their own type of deal.
Well, see, that's what's I'm curious about such things.
They got Boxing Day and stuff.
Well, they want one world government, so I mean, they want their dictator to run part of the country. Is what's going on, like part of the world anyway. They have their own dictator. He's related to Fidel Castro. I don't know if you knew that. Anyway, my iRacing is taking a turn for the worse. I'm gonna have to reload there, guys.
Pretty much scheduled. Every time we do a race, that your iRacing is going to crash.
It's getting worse.
It's like you can just about set your clock.
Yeah, right? It's a little early for this race, so yeah.
Was it 8:35 Eastern? Yep. Kill Adam's computer. It might be what you said too. There,
I think the Supreme leaders, there's several. I think they're listening. I just try and enjoy the one day you give me. I'm the peasant. You're the elite. Thank you for giving us this day and today and tomorrow. I'm so blessed to have this.
Okay, we just got told by Shugu says that it's the same holiday up there. They have the same holiday we do. That's excellent.
Well, sure.
See, we're more alike than we are different there, Adam.
Well, I think so. I agree. The Canadians are some of the most kindest people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
And funny. They have a good
and
sense of
they're
humor.
very generous too. They give their government a lot more money.
Yes, they do. Yeah, they sure do. Man, I'm sure they'll tell you about it. I've been in deer camp with a couple of them, and they are not happy with the gun situation and handing out money to the government situation.
Sure, as we get everybody all back up side by side.
Still loading in. Y'all can describe what's happening for me.
How shall I describe you? Yeah, you're still you're having some slow problems there.
You broke Turner with that one.
I can't do that one, man. Don't ever do that to me again. Oh, that was great.
Oh,
As the pace car slowly makes his way back off the racing surface and into the safety of pit lane, the field enters the home stretch here once again into that Geico restart zone, and away we go back to some green flag racing here on lap number 13 out of 70. The 42, Kevin Winker, getting a good push here from the 51 of Chris Klein up there on the far outside lane. Meanwhile, the 18 trying to catch back on up to the 48's rear bumper here, as well as the 3, Skylar Herod, working his magic up there on the high side as well. Some slicing and dicing as it looked like the one of DW trying to pick and choose a lane that might get some momentum here. Problem is he might have chosen wrong, as everybody is going up to the high side and avoiding that bottom lane. But again, whole bunch of racing left to be had as the 31 machine gets all locked in here, trying to get sucked up to that back bumper of the double nickel, Mr. Tom Barish.
what the knight say in that the last good Indiana Jones movie? He said, "You have chosen poorly." But who's not chosen poorly out here tonight? Joshua Moore up a whole ton of spots, up 18. He was up 19 there for a second, but the driver of the number 18 Muehlberger Custom Homes machine out there taking no prisoners. Biggest mover of the race.
Yeah, you can go from chump to champ and champ to chump in no time here. I'm back. Thank you. I almost lost it there, English. That was probably the funniest thing I ever heard you say.
I don't know.
I still don't know if I could survive the rest of this race. Think of that. Yeah, really good race in here. I just want to thank personally, speaking of elitists, just go ahead and send an email. Thank Al Gore for creating this great interweb that we have. He built it. He's the only reason we have iRacing today. So thank you, Al Gore.
What?
Al Gore invented the
Exactly.
internet. You know that?
I know.
That's
Before my
that's
time.
his lie. That's
What was
his
his
claim to
claim to
fame. He lied about it, but anyway, some people understand that. Look at that Lone Star racing machine. That's a cool looking car.
Chatter on the radio about a slow car low. That looks like the 32 Nick Biddy. He's got a long road to recovery here, down 2 laps right now. Actually, I think he just got put down a 3rd lap.
No, this is him going down.
Two? Oh,
Down
okay,
2,
gotcha.
yeah.
That happened right before the start finish.
Yeah.
Got it.
So as he,
That lose run
Albert's
that on the
stuck in the
track.
middle. Albert's stuck in the middle there.
Oh, no!
Peanuts around.
oh, double O.
Joe.
And
He's
a roof ride.
reducing the miles being put on that car here. The
Wow,
caution
he
flag
did.
comes back on out.
Oh, man, that was a near miss.
It looks like there's netcode involved in that. He came up a little bit and a little netcode with Albert in the 99. Just some mayhem after that.
And yeah, double O getting all turned around like a tornado there. Yeah, whether that was netcode or not, might have been some contact either way. They had the 55 Tom Barish playing tow truck there or I should say a flatbed driver. Given
Yeah, he got a good look at Double O Joe's undercarriage there for a couple 100 yards.
Yeah, he did. Oh, Nick Biddy says he's having a shifter issue.
Car's not
That's
staying in
interesting.
4th gear. Yeah.
Well, see,
Popping
that's
out
the
of
cool
gear.
thing about iRacing. It's like it's a total simulation. You have mechanical issues, which kind of just like the real car, right? Something's wrong with the connection with your wheel, or your pedals aren't working right. So that's actually just part of the racing deal. It's carried over here into iRacing.
I know these are the last gen models, because I have no idea what NASCAR's on anymore. But crap, I can't remember what race it was, but didn't somebody in real life in NASCAR have that issue where like the shifter just kept popping out of gear or something like that? So poor guy was racing around, 190 miles an hour with one hand on a steering wheel, one hand on the shifter just to keep it down there and forth.
Yeah, that actually happened a lot, didn't it, English? I think I know who
seen
you're
it
talking
happen
about.
before. I don't remember
They would
when it happened or who it was.
a lot of times they'll go pit and the guys will give him a bungee cord, and they'll pull. The last one I saw, he had a bungee cord that tied it down somehow into fourth. But the next gen they have 5 gears, which is it's a little bizarre.
And
It's
the
a
sequential.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're just trying to be like China. Whatever.
I do remember back in the day seeing guys come in and they said, "Just give me high gear," and they'll give them high gear and they'll push the car off out of the pit box. But that's all they have, for the rest of the race. They're stuck in fourth.
Oh yeah. Well, you also then I remember watching Junior's wheel fall off, and it's just by the
Trying to
little
grab the
stem.
shaft.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's coming from a guy that doesn't even watch NASCAR. I even know that. But nonetheless, here we go. Another caution.
They're having a conversation about the crash. I don't know really what happened there. I think there was a little drift up into Albert, but I don't. It would have been very minimal. It's hard to blame anybody on that one.
Yeah, I think you're right on that aspect of things. There, Turner. It's especially at these huge super speedway tracks, man. Just the slightest of hiccups. It doesn't even have to be like a big, like, oh, that was all your fault kind of thing. Just the tiniest of things just can upset these cars, and then you get a caution like we saw here.
A little bit of dirty air, take some wind off of one part of the car and, make the car do funny things. But yeah, it definitely close contact between the 00 and the 99.
Yeah, it hadn't been
Sorted out
terribly.
whose fault it was, but
It hadn't been a terribly, dirty race so far. I mean,
yeah.
this happens at super speedways like this. They're going 240, 50 miles an hour in traffic. You're going to have some cautions. The last one we saw where there was no cautions, that was an anomaly, right? I mean, that's not the norm. The norm is to have a few cautions throughout one of these races. So I don't see any problem with it. Let's keep racing. This is not a terrible race by any means. It's really impressive. I like the super speedway stuff. I think you're in the same thought process there, English. So it's just fun to watch these cars go so fast and draft like they are here.
I'm with you. Joel Moore out there pulling for Josh Moore in the 18. Josh on a tear out there tonight. We mentioned it earlier. Up a whole ton of spots here. So far, your biggest mover. See if he can continue there as the guys come back around here. Get ready to take the green once again.
That indeed is my email inbox is inundated with Vail Resorts wondering how my latest stay was, or experience there was. The Vail Resorts in charge of ski areas. Don't know about you, and yeah, it is up here in New Hampshire, but ain't nobody got no snow.
Yeah, a little early for snow.
Wrecking in the back.
Yeah,
19 Coleman.
Oh, and the 73 of Josh Kelleher is slow here, as well as the green flag gets everybody back underway.
Ooh, they weren't happy about that back there.
The wreck happened in the very back of the field, so there was no iRacing thrown caution because there's nobody else coming. So that's why the yellow was not thrown.
Oh, the 73, his engine is toast. You can hear it. It just sounds terrible. Joe Bennett, no back deck.
Oh, it was just a big accordion effect of people ready and not ready to get up to speed. And yeah, 73, it just worked its way all the way back to him there, and it's definitely tough here tonight. You definitely don't want to have engine issues, that is for sure. As the 42 of Kevin Winker heads on out to the early lead right now, with the 51 of Chris Klein right there behind him, with 98 of Connor Leach there as well. You got the 6 of Joe David trying to fight his way up through the crowd of people here. He's got the 48 of Zeth Holly behind him, and the 05 of PJ Cox right there in front of him. It's, oh man, still, they did a lot of smoothing, but you can still tell there's definitely a track transition there heading on into those corners as he gets kind of bounced and pummeled around, and up the track he went, but still hanging on to that spot.
Yeah, still a grade right there, but it's just not quite as sharp, I don't think. Some of these guys get some huge runs at the end of these straightaways, you know, taking advantage.
I think the backstretch, you see all those huge runs. I have located my favorite car tonight.
Oh,
the
yeah?
number 78, Christopher Jordan.
Oh, the Smoking the Bandit car.
Smoking the Bandit car. I mean, it should be a Pontiac, but they're defunct now.
Close enough.
Yeah, GM product.
Give it to him.
Yeah, cool.
Partial
paint
credit.
scheme. And he's got the plate too.
Oh, does it? The band one?
Band 1 on the back, yeah.
I didn't see that. Good eye.
We're joined here with some drivers with their driver camera on up here this evening. 32 Nick Biddy there on camera. We saw previously the 42 of Winker and the 48 of Zeth Ollie all ready to go. We also have the 77 of Mr. Tristan Cotton all up there and running. He's got his fans there in the background. Ain't working. I might need to call him up and say, hey man, I need to borrow that fan of yours to try to get things all cooled on down. You also got the 6 of Mr. Joe David. He's getting all locked in here. Getting a good draft from the 05 of PJ Cox here in front of him as, woof, jeez. Where'd the 1 come from? Goodness gracious. Just comes flying up behind him.
He's on a mission there, isn't he? He just kind of went flying out of nowhere. Those huge runs, I'm telling you. They can slingshot you.
And you even got the 3 machine of Skylar Herod here as well, joining us with the driver camera. And even got, I think, his wife or whatever, girlfriend, partner, because you never know nowadays what people's status is. But good, couple screens set up behind him. I wonder if she's got all the race data and she's filtering it onto him, being kind of like a crew chief,
Yeah, maybe.
I would hope so.
Check this out, boys. The oldest man in iRacing joining us tonight in the chat, Richard Gray.
Whoa!
I ain't seen it. He's out of county, I guess.
They let him out. Hey, was the commissary good there, Richard? I put about 50 on your books. I
put some smoke money in there too, but I didn't know if you got it.
I hope, man. It's good to see him. Thank you for being here, Richard. That's exciting. Can't believe I hadn't heard from him in
it's been a while.
ages. That'll happen when you go to jail. You just kind of.
It's been 6 to 12 since we've heard of him.
We're not on his contact list, so he doesn't, text us regularly.
I'm not on the visitor log or anything either. So.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, thanks for being here, Richard.
Hope it's not another 6 to 12 before we see you again, buddy.
Yeah. Join us. Keep joining us.
Is that years, months, decades?
I'm just making crap up.
Oh, it's the 98 getting up into the 51 machine there into the middle of the corner. They're both able to hang on to it, but it's going to cost them a couple of spots there while they try to wrangle that machines back up underneath them. The 51 kind of stuck in the middle. It's the 98 regathering his momentum here, looking to take it 3 wide with that 51 down there in the middle. Looks like the 51 up to speed there as well.
Skylar Herod right there in that number 3 Skunkworks machine got the best out of that situation. Able to jump up a couple of spots. He's still moving.
How about that for the Titans fan, Timothy Stubblefield in that 92 machine, staying up here inside this main pack. He's up there up to 14th, and then on back we got a little bit of a chase pack kind of forming on up with the gambler Paul Ferdiani leading that charge. He's got the 13 of Paul Durkee, 17 of Justin Lawson, into with him Chris Jordan, Mark Collins, and Mike Adamson all locked on in, and definitely looks like the 13 of Durkee. He's found a parking lot post to the back end at the local Walmart on that 13 machine.
Adam Richards says that where he was at, that all they let him have was Michelob and applesauce. He might have been in one of those private joints. We got a wreck.
Oh, still going around. Scott Milner getting all slippy and slidey down there.
Man.
That was a mess back there towards the rear.
We have to watch that again. I'm glad he got at least the Michelob. I don't know about the applesauce. See what happened here.
It's right in the middle of the pack there.
Jump up to the chopper camera as we kind of watch what happened. It looked like another case of the little bit of a listing lazily to the right kind of situation. 31 just kind of drifted on up a little bit of net code there, as well as Patrick Mahaney up against the far outside wall. Really couldn't do much up there. Didn't have a whole lot of room to spare. 51 getting kind of tied up in it there as well. Quick trip through the grass for Mahaney as the 31 finishes his little spinneroony.
Yeah, 51 got just destroyed from behind there. Chris Klein, his back end is not looking good. Hopefully he can either fix it or survive. I don't know if you probably don't need the back end as much as the front end as far as sheet metal, right?
Sure. Yeah, I think you're right.
Well, the main problem is, right, when you get damage like that, it shoves all that material up into the air, and that really affects the downforce and the drag and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you said the car kind of list. It just reminded me of a boat, And I just want to say R.I.P. to one of my heroes, one of the best out there. Jimmy Buffett passed away.
Yeah, man.
That was that one really hurt right there,
Yeah,
Real
that
American pirate.
That record he did, that living and dying in 3/4 time, that was one of my favorites.
Oof.
Yeah,
They were all waltzes. That was a good record.
42 was side by side with, I think that was the 48 of Seth Hollywell coming on down into the pits and almost had contact making that dive on in there. And in remembrance of the old JB here tonight, I earlier today I did have a pina colada.
Oh, good. Thank you. That was nice. I had a couple margaritas. I had some other things.
See, that's what I think that's going to be my next why people shouldn't give me adult money things. I think I might get a margarita mixer next.
That's not a bad idea. You should do it. I'm an enabler.
I had one yesterday at the Mexican joint down the road. It was good too.
No, but he's going to have them on hand any time.
On demand. See,
I'm going to Google that. I'm going to go to Amazon. I'm getting one too. We're going to be twins, Brown. I like what you're thinking.
Yeah, man. It's going to be like your own miniature 7-Eleven with adult slushies.
Yes.
That's true.
I have a buddy that bought a couple of those, and he rents them out on the weekends for the little kids events with little bouncy houses and stuff. Yeah, it's a big hit. Makes a little bit of money on the side.
Have you seen the margarita mixers that have like a 2-stroke weed eater motor on them?
Yeah, I've seen that. If you go on
those?
YouTube, people are just super smart. There's so many smart people out there, and they are what the elites call the peasants. They're the reason for this holiday, but real, true American ingenuity is out there, and you just want to know about it. Go to the YouTube.
That's what they're putting their smarts towards.
That's fine.
How can we make a tequila drink even faster?
I don't care. It's fun.
And pollute the environment with 2-stroke.
That's not polluting the environment. That's a whole scam. They're scammed you. There's no such thing as climate change. When I was a kid, they told me that the Earth was going to freeze over.
Yep.
it was going to freeze over. And then they said there was going to be this thing called acid rain. We're all going to die. We couldn't go outside. It's a scare tactic by the elites. Now, y'all get informed, and let's push back. We don't need their problems. We just want to be left alone and live our life with low taxes. That's it.
I will say, Turn, you might want to hurry. There's only 3 left in stock. Go figure. As there's a with a 3-piece machine, so you got 3 individual flavors you can mix on up in there.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I'm going to do my part for global warming right now, and I'm going to go pour me a cold beer. I'll be right back.
Oh, well, that is wonderful. I think that really helps the environment when you do that.
Well, it's the whole nature of things where you got inputs and then you got outputs, and then those outputs turn into inputs somewhere else, and then those turn into outputs, and it's a water cycle.
That's a word salad. What you did there, Brown.
It
Look
really
here.
is.
Like the carbon dioxide thing. We have trees and stuff. They take care of that. So I don't know. Maybe we should just have more trees. Trees are cool. Nobody has a problem with trees.
Not until they fall on your house during a hurricane.
That's true.
As the pace car peels on off, the 42, Kevin Winker alongside the 48 of Zeth Hawley, restarting things side by side. The 1 in DW is up there, as well as the 3 of Skylar Harrod, as we get back to that green flag running here, slowly trundling up to speed down that front straightaway, down into turns 1 and 2. The field have a much better restart here than the last time. No shenanigans to speak of. Really whatsoever here. Looks like everybody just trying to maintain their lane and kind of get things on up into speed.
Yep, these guys having a pretty good race out here so far. Not a whole lot of contact going on out there. Just had a couple of little incidents out there, and no big giant all-inclusive crashes that start up at the front or anything, although the race, we got a lot of racing left to go here. We're not even to halfway.
I almost had one there with the 6 in the 92. Some bumpers not quite lining on up there, but they were able to keep it off each other for the most part. And other than maybe the exchange of maybe some business cards and some paint, they move on back up through the field.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a typical plate track race right now. Almost halfway through here. It has really been great racing. A lot of back and forth. A little bit of craziness. This is what I like to watch,
It was Justin Lawson kind of got pushed out into the sucker hole there through the turn number 3 and 4, but he's able to keep things all bottled on up.
You almost had the contact between the 17 and the 6. You're able to work it out. Yeah, when you're going into the turns and you've got no air on your nose, you still do slide up the track a little bit. We are seeing that still, even with the changes to the track.
Well, it doesn't help being, hotter than the spicy place down south.
You have like a sweat on your brow right now.
Oh, you have no idea.
Oh my god, I can't imagine.
Take your baseball cap and soak it in cold water and throw it on your head and throw a wet towel on your neck, man, and help you feel a little better.
Yeah, of course, all this margarita talk, from a few laps ago has got me thirsty for a margarita now.
There you go.
I can't do nothing about it.
They don't Uber those to you down there?
Nah, we're not like English and have a special margarita drive-through.
Well, they'll Uber 'em.
Yeah.
You can Uber them to you now.
Yeah.
Look at Albert on the inside.
Oh my Lord, what a run!
How's he
goodness.
ripping through there?
Oh, man, well, that's just the run of the draft. He started quite a few cars back, saw an opening, just got the run, and was able to keep that momentum moving forward. He was able to even get a little bit of a pull there from the 33, the gambler Paul Ferdiani, who's kind of living his life down there on the bottom side.
Paul Durkee with a big shot to the rear end from the 17. These guys bump drafted pretty hard out there.
Yeah, we are just past the halfway point, so things starting to kind of get heated on up here. Give me 1 second as I can update our graphics machine. Remember what it was called.
Hey, doing all the technical things. Elon Musk would be very proud of you, Brown.
He would.
I think he should hire you as like his assistant because you're so efficient with all that stuff, you know?
He may not, because I leave for a couple minutes, thinking my airplane's on autopilot. Next thing I know, it's about 2 feet off the ground and just kind of hovering there. I'm like, what's going on? I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to have one of those happen to his fancy rockets, but
that's his software issue. That's not your issue.
Yes, here.
Huge run down low there. 30.
I know.
Oh,
It's the 77. Oh, Tristan Cotton getting involved with Mahaney there. Oh, the 23 of Mark Collins getting involved in it as well as the caution flag comes out once again.
And Nick Biddy right there at the end could not avoid the 76 as he slid down the track.
Well, Tristan went below the yellow line. He claimed it, and he just took out several guys.
Yeah, oh,
Look how quick that happened.
Oh, it was very quick, and it wasn't like he went way down. He just basically nicked that yellow line.
That transition is no joke down there, fellas.
Yeah, you put 2 tires just below that yellow line. It's in the corner, especially. It's going to be a problem, and that's what we saw. He claimed it. Nobody's wanting to fight him or anything. That's good. Everybody, we're all together here today on Labor Day. We're all the peasants.
Sure.
We're not the elites. There could be an elite in here. I doubt it, though. I think we're all kind of the same, cut from the same cloth. We're just working people trying to survive this crazy world in the greatest country in the world, even though they're trying to make it not. But
I'm trying to do my part by not buying store-bought beer. I'm sitting here drinking on some home brew.
You should. You should. We should go back
You'd
to
like this one.
Grassroots everything.
You like this one. This one's like
What
a
you got?
Miller High Life, but it's got like extra hops in it, man.
Ooh,
It's
a little.
got some extra bitterness in it.
I could do that.
You'd like it. I'm telling you.
What's the name of it? Do you have a special name
Well,
for it yet? Or not?
It's a smash beer, and it's made with all Vienna malt, which over in Europe they call it Wiener malt, which is spelled like wiener. So I was just going to call it Wiener Smash. But,
Well, that's kind of weird.
That kind of makes people squirm.
I don't really want anything of that. Why can't you just give me some kind of beer that's American? I don't need the Wiener Schnitzel. I want American beer. I know.
It's made right here.
But you said the malt is from across the pond.
Well, either way, we're going to step aside here as we're a little bit after the halfway point and say a huge thank you to some of these great sponsors. And when we come back, we'll update everybody on the current standings of where people are, whether they're in, whether they're out, whether they got a shot here. And then we'll kind of figure things on out here as we enjoy this caution. So we'll be right back. And welcome back as the pace car filters his way back onto pit road, and we get back up and running here at iRacing Super Speedway. As we got about 30 laps left to go with the 42 of Kevin Winker leading the field off the line there. 48 and the 1 machine up there, as well as the 88 and the 33. Here comes the one on that bottom side with a pretty good run, trying to get back up to that number 1 spot that he started in here tonight. But the outside lane just looking a little too grouped up together here, and gets that momentum running back forward. And it looks like the 1 machine's kind of heading on down through the middle of the sucker hole right now.
Guys aren't even up to speed yet. They're still trying to get these cars up to their top speed, or 250 plus miles an hour.
Yeah, it takes them, what, about 2 laps here to get up to speed?
Good a lap and a half, 2 laps.
Oh, look at Welch just dumped down inside. Heck of a run by the number 1 right now. Stubblefield's behind him.
And doing some bobbing and weaving.
He doesn't have help right behind him. He's going to lose that momentum unless he moves up into the front of somebody.
And speaking of the sucker hole, I mean, that's where we are as regular Americans. We're just in the sucker hole right now. Listen to these clowns lie to us and freeze up on national television.
Oh, as we got contact. Oh, man, hard contact there. 6 of Joe David. He is definitely feeling the effects after that one. He is going to be running here pretty slow, and it looks like the 13 of Paul Durkee involved in it as well. Both drivers well off the pace with some heavy damage. Just going to try to survive here. I'm surprised neither driver ended up coming on down into pit lane. I even wonder if they got any fast repairs left there to fix that stuff if they do have that severe damage.
Yeah, you only got 1 here, as Adam mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast. So if they've already used it, they're kind of up a creek.
Yeah, DW. Oh man, he's really feeling it right there. He does have the 92 with him now, but looks like he lost his momentum.
He does have some help from the 92 and the 55.
This place just creates a lot of drama. Crazy racing is what I say it is. And that's what he's doing there in the number 1, DW, our leader here at Numb Thumbs Racing League. He's the boss man, right?
Oh.
Really can't say anything bad about him, you know. He might fire me or muzzle me, you know. I don't want to be muzzled.
Well, check this out. He is now in front of the 42 of Kevin Winker, thanks to that good pushing from the 92 and some side drafting by DW himself. Shauna Flick out there saying, "Let's go, Winker. Can I have your autograph?" Ooh. Hashtag Winker Nation as he slides down in front of DW.
There's one way to take care of your competition. Just get in front of them.
Well, don't forget, I believe it was last season. I forget which cars and what combinations and whatnot, but Stubblefield was winning one of these races, and the one of DW was giving him the big old push. Oh, it's the 76 Mahaney down there on the bottom side as things went 3 wide, 4 wide there, but everybody able to slip and slide right on through. Oh, there goes Anderson. Oh my goodness, yeah, that one's heavy. Oh, that one's heavy.
I was with Bears there, and he was involved in the double nickel. Let's see what happened.
Ooh, I gotta go further back. Looks like it was just a stack up. Again, started with a little bit of net code as the looked like the 55 drifting up the racetrack just a little bit, and the 51's front bumper was there, just kept coming on up, gets turned. Anderson right there getting absolutely drilled in the door and nowhere to go for the 5 machine as he gets kind of locked up in it. 99 slips down the track, slams into the 17, and there was nowhere for the gambler to go. He tried to fold before he lost too much of his cards, but he gets snagged up in it there as well. Just absolutely nothing he could do as the 55 and the 99 do some twin spitting down the front straightaway, and then the 73. Oh, and then the 31. Just he couldn't see the 51 down there against the inside fence, and that's some heavy contact. Oh my goodness. That one.
When that smoke gets kicked up, it's hard to see where you can and can't go.
That one for Scott Milner. That's not going to need an infield care center. That one's just going to need a straight helicopter ride to the nearest level 1 trauma center.
Yeah.
Oh.
You got that right. Adam Strom joining us right here while they're cleaning this wreck up. He says, howdy, fellas. Hey, Turner, I found a 36-pack of Colt 45 on sale for $12.99, so he's going to be down on pit road shortly. I think he's having trouble getting it into the race.
No, I'll talk to security. Yes, bring that on in.
Paul, yeah.
Bring that on down here. We'll take care of it. So 36. I can't do the math, but
tell them you're with the broadcast crew, and they'll give you a credential.
Yeah, we need to give him a lanyard with a AAA broadcasting on it, so he can come down here and bring me those Colt 45s. I just found my Colt 45 hat. I got one.
Okay.
I almost wore it today, but here's the thing. If that's a beer that's good enough for Lando Calrissian, that's beer good enough for you. Don't kid yourself.
Yeah.
Great beer. Lando was a big proponent of it. I don't know if you remember the commercials.
I don't.
Way before me.
Yeah. Oh, Billy D.
Billy D.
Billy D. Williams. He's in his 80s now.
Wow, he was so cool back then. But he was so cool. And to have...
He's still cool.
You know, yeah, he's still cool. But, I mean, back then, he was like the epitome of cool, man. He's drinking Colt 45s, and he was on he's on all kinds of, like, the bar paraphernalia stuff. Yeah, you can buy.
Paraphernalia.
Well, it's paraphernalia, around here. But anyway, Billy D. Williams. Pretty cool dude, man. So let's get those Colt 45s down here.
Let's do it indeed. Meanwhile, while we're here during the caution, let's go ahead and see what the current standings look like after last week's race, where Nick Biddy and Zeth Hawley tied in the lead for the points. And then you got Kevin Winker, Connor Leach, Mike Adamson, Mark Collins, Chris Jordan, Scott Milner, Joe David, and Chris Klein inside of that top 10. DW and Patrick Mahaney are just to the outside. But even after that, Albert Anderson with the win, he gets back into it. Paul Durkee as well, same thing. Well, I would say Lucas Lyons, but doesn't look like he's racing here tonight. But just a whole bunch of people just trying to get on up there here.
The battle for those last couple of spots here tonight. That's gonna be a fun one to watch here. Is these guys where are they headed next week for the finale?
Well,
Talladega.
Well,
Talladega. Sweet.
So this is where I have to interject, and you're gonna get upset, but it will not be next week because I done effed up Ron. Yeah. So. Someone reached out to another league and said, hey, we got a charity race coming up. Would you guys like to do it? And so I looked at the date, and I'm like, yeah, sure, we should be able to do it. And then not realizing that date is the championship race for the Super Speedway Series. So thankfully, DW and the admins have graciously pushed it, their championship race for 1 week. But next week, we'll be having the suicide awareness race for Lone Star Racing League coming on up for 100 laps at Las Vegas, and I believe it's in the trucks, so that's a win in my books. That's always a good race.
Love doing these charity races too. Anything we could do to help give back and bring awareness to stuff like childhood cancer or suicide awareness in that case. I'm all for it.
Yeah. I mean, I love the kids. Not in the way that they do in Washington D.C. or anything, but I love
Good.
love taking care of kids.
Good,
We should be.
good recovery there, Turner, as the pace
There
car
you go.
comes
Come
back
on.
down onto pit road, and we get back up to speed as the green flag flies once again. The one machine of DW out in front, trying to hustle and bustle his way and make it back up into that top 10. And this last round of pit stops, man, I think it was the money stop. I think these guys are good from here on out. I think it'll be a little bit close. They might need to do a little bit of saving here, maybe do a little strategery, but we'll just have to wait and find on out. 00 Joe Bennett starting to shuffle his way back up through the crowd of traffic here, as well as the 48 of Zeth Hawley. 42 Kevin Winker still locked in here inside this top 10 where he's been all race long. But how about that 92 Tim Stubblefield? He's riding up there in fourth here tonight. Where's Stub Nation out there in the chat?
There, a couple out there.
Yeah, they're not really piping up. They normally want to mouth off about stuff in Tennessee, Nashville. You know.
I'm sure we got a couple watching. We haven't had much in the chat here.
Yeah, they always want to talk about my team, the Houston Oilers, that they stole from me and my community. But we hadn't heard from them tonight. I'd love to debate with them if they.
30
wanna
years
join
and
up.
you're still sore.
I'm mad about it. Yeah.
Ooh, it's 19 and the 73 doing some draft work there and almost giving a body shove to the 88 as they make their way up to the front. Oh my goodness, the 73. He's getting all loosey-goosey down there.
Getting crazy out there, boys. Less than 20 to go. Starting to get dicey. Well, the 19 had one heck of a run there about a lap ago, and it looks like now he's kind of lost that momentum.
Well,
we got a yellow out. What happened?
It's a
I didn't see it.
fantastic question. Let me see. It looks like Paul Durkee getting involved in that one. Yeah, and he's stopped down there on the apron. Let's go ahead and kind of see what happened with the mean 13 machine. I know Earl Evans out there in chat hates to see this. Oh, is he just... I don't know if he dropped a right front or what, but he just went straight up into that outside wall.
Man, it looked like his tire blew. If you're looking at it from the back end of his car, his tire
Equipment
just...
problem.
Yeah, that was weird. That looked like something you'd see actually in a NASCAR race. It just...
Exactly.
Huh.
I wonder if it
never
was a
seen that
connection issue, because he was parked down there on the bottom of the racetrack for a little while, and he might have been trying to figure something out. As far as I know, I don't believe iRacing has that whole flat tire kind of drop effect. You just, when you get a tire that goes flat, it just gives you a meatball and tells you to come in. So in that kind of aspect, to me, it kind of looked like maybe a equipment disconnection,
Or a window popped up or
Oh,
something.
or
So I've
that,
had
yeah.
that happen. It's kicked me out, and it'll bring up some other window saying you require updates or something. And I'm trying to desperately click back into the screen. May have been what happened. I don't know. He's manually disconnected now, just now. So, hate to see the gambler take
The
off.
gambler?
Tristan Cotton right behind. Or I'm sorry, that was Ferdiani. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're getting confused.
I'm all kinds of confused.
Yeah, it's
Tristan
a
Cotton.
holiday for you. You're a peasant, laborer. I mean, that's why we have the holiday.
We're working tomorrow too.
What are you talking about, Tristan Cotton?
He also manually disconnected. So
That was-
add them to Mike Adamson, who's also out. He's
Speaking
probably
of-
watching the LSU game.
Well, I'm watching both over here, just kind of on the side. But listen, speaking of Labor Day and elites versus, the regulars, I was at my local restaurant bar where I hang out in the back. There's like a bar in the back.
The Frog.
Yeah,
oh.
that place. I'm back in the back, where you got to hang out to drink cold beer because you don't want to be shamed by the society around town. But
Sure.
they have a sign that says, "Hey, any of you, and I should have said peasants, employees, you will not be taken off Labor Day holiday. You know, it's like you will not. It was big bold letters. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, they were just rude to these people, man. Well, how are they going to get their holiday? These people are important too.
Oh.
Wasn't a big fan of that. Then it said, like typical, thanks for your understanding. Real
Yeah, I
smart
understand.
alecky.
I understand
Yeah.
what you think of me.
You will not be. Everyone will work. Okay.
That's probably not a good thing to
Okay,
have out
buddy.
there where all your customers can see it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I could see it from where I was sitting. Yeah, whatever.
Kind of a speakeasy in the back of the restaurant.
Yeah, it is actually, because around town here, I live in this small town now. I'm from Houston, but I live in a small town now. But you get shamed for like drinking cold beer, or having a couple cocktails.
All the straights giving you problems, right?
Yeah, it's like 1927 again. I have to kind of go in the back. There's a room back there where you can have your cold beer and your whiskey or whatever. And so that's where I hang out back there. There's some degenerates like me. There's a few.
Earl Evans is joining us over there on the YouTube chat saying Stub Nation's probably watching the NASCAR race.
Oh.
And he announced that he gets paid an extra 16 hours on top of the days he's working.
Good.
A little Labor Day deal for him.
Sweet.
So we know if we ever meet up with him down there in Florida, that the first round's on him.
Yeah, for sure.
He's got all this extra jingling in his pocket.
Yeah. You called it, so he owes us a cold one, is what you're saying.
Sure. Guys racked and stacked, getting ready to roll back once again.
And that they are. Pace car lights turn back on off. Gonna have about 15 laps left to go here.
Brandon Coleman asking for an EOL because he has to come in and serve a black flag for too many incident points. He doesn't want to wreck the field or anything trying to jump down. So he's going to go to the back of the field and pit as the rest of the field takes off when we get the green.
And Earl bringing up a good point. He did just buy a new car.
He bought the same car that me and my wife just got. Yeah, it's not cheap.
What?
Yeah, he bought a Ford Escape the other day.
Well, there ain't no cheap cars anymore.
No, that is for certain, especially out here on the racetrack as the 3 machine gets things going with the 00 Joe Bennett to his outside, getting a big push from that 48 of Zeth Holly. Those two teammates working well together here tonight. You also got that one of DW just kind of lurking in the background, just hoping for a quick pull from those two so he can get back up there to the front. 98 of Connor Leach, resident Canadian over here at the NTRL, trying to shuffle his way back up, try to get that Rainbow Warrior machine up to the front.
Check out Biddy and Cox on the outside line. Big run. Here comes Josh Moore to join him. He didn't have anywhere to go right there. Tried to stick it up the middle and had to get out of it. My goodness. Here comes the 17 with a similar type of run. Trying to go up the middle, and he goes inside of the 18, now inside of the 98. Goodness gracious, these huge runs that you get at this big 3-mile super speedway are just amazing.
Yeah, you are definitely not kidding on that one as 00 runs on out there to the front of the lead here. 92 Stubblefield fighting side by side with that 18 of Moore. Now moving on up with a big run through the corner to get alongside the 17. He did have a little bit of help there, looked like from the 5 of Anthony Williams, but Anthony Williams kind of dropping on off there just a little bit, and the 92 losing all that ground that he had built on up.
Yahtzee.
Ooh, slow car down there on the apron as the field makes its way on around, but everyone looking A-okay. Turner, you still there alive with us?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
You know, when English is just going on a rant, I can't just interrupt him or anything.
Well,
You know,
yeah, you can. He interrupted your race over there at Pocono, so you can interrupt him, you know, whenever he's
he
talking.
sure did. Yeah, never mind. I agree with you.
At 33, the gambler, Paul Ferdiani, trying to make it go 3 wide here and pick up a couple of spots. He does sneak on past the 17 Lawson there. As kind of interesting, though, here, Turner. Normally, this is where we see things all start to get all chaotic with about 12 laps left to go and things definitely heating on up. But for the most part, we're, other than kind of towards the tail end of the field where we're seeing some shuffling, everybody's all single filed out.
Which is strange. I'm not used to seeing that here. We still have, roughly 10 laps to go here. I think we'll see it kind of double file, maybe even 3 wide fairly quickly. They're coming up on lap traffic. Look at the number 3, Skylar Herod. Look at the 05 of Cox. Everybody's making runs. So
they're in the middle. Oh, with a save, the 78 of Chris Jordan. Getting all slippery and sideways, but he's able to wrangle that thing back under control. What a save by him. And we're still green flag racing here.
Yeah, which is crazy.
It is crazy.
So the run was pretty cool, but then they just kind of sent it, and then some people got turned a little bit, and there was no caution.
And no caution indeed, as here we go. I think we're starting to see some movement up here at the front. There's a 33 of Ferdiani down there on that bottom side. Oh, was getting some help from the 18, but it looked like the one of DW just brought a sledgehammer to the fight and said, no, you guys aren't working together. I'm jumping down here, and kind of broke those two apart a little bit.
Getting a little action out there, huh, boys?
Yeah.
Well, it was funny. I had mentioned, because it was very odd. It was going single file there for a minute, except for in the back, and then a big run happened, and then what we thought was going to be the big one turned out to be a pretty good save by Chris Jordan, and then here we are. With Ferdiani basically one by one dismantling this field, filtering his way on up to the front.
Big runs happening down low here. The 92 and the 18 catching up to the back of the 33 machine. 92 pushing his leg, going up the middle here. Doesn't have much help. Here comes Joe David to his rescue. He dips down low.
Yeah, I think they realize 3 wide's probably not going to work in this situation with about 9 laps left to go. They're also catching on up to some lap traffic. That's the, looks like the 19. I believe that's Coleman. Just kind of seeing what was happening behind him there and electing to take the safe way out of it and drift on down to the apron, which in itself normally would be like, oh, yeah, that's a pretty good move. But here with that, difference of about 90 degrees between the bank angle of the track and the apron,
It feels like it.
Man, even on these straightaways, it's not the easiest of tasks. You even got the 51 as well of Chris Klein going on another lap down here. He's missing quite a few body panels as the 00 Joe machine continues to lead here with some help from that 48 of Zeth Hawley. And here comes the 33 team principal of Paul Ferdiani there for Plus EV.
And you hear Albert Anderson, like these other drivers' lap cars, said, hey, 00 Joe and the rest of the field, I'm slow car on the bottom here. Y'all go ahead and get up around me. I'm going to do my best to stay out of your way. Great communication by so many of these lap cars here tonight.
Yeah, rough night for Albert. America's driver loves these tracks like this. He's usually up front. He just had a bad night, and he's still out there putting in the laps, so good on him. America's driver, Albert Anderson. One of my favorites. I know that. You guys probably can tell. I do like me some Albert Anderson.
Really? I never.
I
really-
know it's. Oh, Biddy is getting a bump. Oh, that's a little too much almost.
Well, you got to keep that square there, and Biddy, of course, trying to keep pace right there, and it's hard to do.
And just outside of
Don't have a lot of help.
just outside of the top 10 right now. But you know what? If I'm that 32 and the 6 of Joe David here, I'm seeing what's happening in front of me. I'm just gonna be like, hey man, you just want to work together, just hang out, just a little bit longer. I got a feeling something might happen, and if it does, we can just fly right on through it, leave that little bit of cushion. Yeah, we're good to go.
What
on
is
the
the
80.
number? What's wrong with the number 1? He's acting like some kind of animal out there. You watched DW drive recently? What in the world is he doing?
Oh, he's
What do you
driving with
mean?
1 foot. Ooh, it's
Well,
a
he's
33 of Ferdiani, clips the apron, but thankfully avoids any contact.
He's just aggressive. I mean,
Yeah, he forced the 33 down there, I think.
yeah, he's pinching, he's pushing, he's doing everything. Now he's falling back a little bit in the sucker hole,
Yeah.
where the rest of America is right there.
Ain't no
Whoa.
turbo tunnel happening here tonight as the 00 of Joe Bennett with a good push now from the 42 of Kevin Winker as the field continues its shuffle and bustle. Here comes that big run from the 32, having a pretty good run as well, still working with that 6 and the 5 machine here, as well as the 05 of PJ Cox getting up into this mix, as well as our main field of drivers is kind of trickled down to about 12 with 4 laps left to go. Some more lap traffic coming on up onto the radar.
DW with a big run right here behind PJ Cox. As the 55, the double nickel with Tom Barish up high here with a couple other lap cars.
Ferdiani,
See that corner action? Yeah.
yeah, Ferdiani displaying his displeasure at maybe some of the pinching action going on between himself and the 1, and almost gets a little too much into that corner there.
He touched his corner. He just wanted to let him know, I think, hey, I can kill you right now if I wanted to, but he didn't do it.
48.
Almost gave him the natural obligation right there.
It's the 48 and the 33 work together here as they slowly move their way on back. Man, here we go. Not a whole lot from the front row action-wise, but basically third on back, it's starting to look like that Mary Susan. We're seeing champ to chump, chump to champ going on.
I can't do it right now. Yes, champ to chump, chump to champ. Anybody can win. It doesn't matter if you are the worst driver in this league. You can still win here if you're in the draft, and English has proven that before.
That's right.
Lord,
Thank you, Brown,
yes,
for pitching it right to
this
Adam.
is-
That was perfect.
yeah, that was really nice, Brown. Good racing right now. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what to do with my hands. All right, back to you, Brown.
And side by side go the 05 and the 1 machine. 2 laps left to go as the side by side action continues here up at the front. 00 Joe, Kevin Winker working well together, as well as the 3 of Skylar Herod all lined on up, coming across the line. White flag is out, so no bonus race in action happening here this evening. Field trickles on down into turns 1 and 2, still side by side. Some lap traffic staying down there as close to the apron as they can get, as pretty much everybody all single file out. Did they run out of fight? Did they use it all up? Because here we go down the back straightaway. Y'all only got half a lap left. Let's go. As well, it looks like the 18 machine heard me say that. Joshua Moore fights on down to the bottom. Everybody up at the front drops on down there with him as the 1 machine trickles on out to the outside. But here we go. One last lunge from the 42 of Kevin Winker trying to get alongside the 00, and it's close across the line. Scored as the 00 wrecking across the line as well. We're going to have to go to the photo booth.
DW on his roof. Terrible wreck there. Now he's on his side. Trying to get that car back upright.
That was interesting.
Sweet. Go ahead and take a look see at what happened here with the DW. Oh, the 48 and the 18 just getting kind of knotted up, and yeah, just big wreck after they crossed the line. Oh goodness, just the absolute turtle spin there from the one of DW. I will not go to the barf cam here tonight. I'm too hot to do that tonight.
Yeah, you don't want to make anybody sick.
But in the meantime, as we watch this great battle coming back down across the line, let's go ahead and slow this one down to quarter speed. It's a 42 with the run. Even gonna pull this up so it's frame by frame, and oh man, goodness, and that's the best angle that I'm gonna get here, and it's so close. But yeah, Double O Joe crosses the line first.
1,000th of a second, so iRacing says. 0.001.
Wow.
Whew, great battles going on down there.
32 needed a top 10, according to Murphy Heelan. And he finished 7th. Looking freaking good, I think is what LFG means.
Well, let's freaking go.
Oh,
Yeah.
It might be that. Maybe a little bit of both. Tower operator saying good race, thanks. Thanks for being here, guys. All you guys out there in YouTube watching this tonight, y'all are the reason why we're here. If you like what you see tonight, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the little bell, and as likes to say, mash all the buttons.
Hit the buttons. Yeah, I forgot about that. We hadn't talked about that. Yeah, make sure you hit all those.
It's been a busy race, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Got a lot going on. Like there's a lot going on here for the guys up on the podium, just trying to take their picture, and then Paul Ferdiani comes in, starts doing donuts, and then everybody comes in doing donuts, and it's just a party down there in the virtual land of Massachusetts. Meanwhile, speaking of, we can get these interviews all started up underway. Give me 1 second here. Make sure I get the right people selected as we start these interviews off with tonight's third place finisher, and just kind of getting boxed out there for a possible drag race for the win, the 3 of Mr. Skylar Herod. Hey, joining us with the driver cam. Appreciate you for that there, brother. And a great race for that 3 machine, finishing in the third here tonight. Was a little rough and tumble kind of there in the mid to back of the pack throughout the race, but you managed to fight your way on through, find your way up to the front, and have a pretty good race there down the stretch.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Like you said, towards the mid race there, lost quite a few positions, but I was lucky enough to stay in the draft and just take my chances and take the spots. Finally able to have a race where I wasn't caught up in everybody's stuff, so I was actually able to race. So that was pretty nice. Pretty solid finish there at the end. It's pretty wild. I think I bumped Joe for the win, so he owes me one next season. Just kidding.
Well, there's always that give and take you see at these plate tracks, and oh yeah, you definitely never forget who helped you out or maybe who screwed you. You know, we saw a little bit of both out here tonight, and maybe a little bit to continue into you guys' last race here in a couple weeks here when you go to Talladega. You guys ready for that? I mean, it's gonna be an awesome finish to the season, I think there.
I'm super excited. Even though I'm out of the playoffs, I enjoy competing with the guys, and I finally got a podium finish. And I would just like to shout out Skunkworks Graphics for the sick design. Head on over there if you want a sick design. PassingUnderYellow.com. We do setups for open races, and of course I got to shout out Beer Mighty Racing for taking on the new guy this season. So huge shout out to them.
Man, it sounds like you got all your shout outs out of the way. Good job. Good to talk to you here. Third place finish. That's pretty good. Respectable tonight. Good luck next week.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Indeed, it's the 3 machine of Skylar Herod finishing there in the third place spot, man. Congratulations. And like Mr. Turner said, good luck next week coming up over there at Talladega for the season finisher.
I appreciate it, guys. And you guys do an awesome job.
Appreciate it, bud.
As we move on up these steps of the podium, let's head on over to talk with tonight's second place finisher. And he's going to be a guy that's going to be yelling at his teammates, being like, hey, I thought you said you cleaned out, spark plugs, 3 and 4. I needed, that one extra thousandth of a second here at the end, but just coming up shy. A great run being had by that 42 machine, up 14 spots on the day to finish in second place here tonight, Kevin. Great way to finish this race on out. And I know, like, in the kind of backfield where you really didn't see too much action in the back, you were kind of hanging up front pretty much all race long. You didn't see kind of the chaos happening back there, but made it, especially coming down to the wire. Were you expecting it to go single file, basically from like the 10 laps to go mark, where really everybody just kind of got into line?
Yeah. I mean, I think we were all kind of trying to save fuel there. I think I had about a lap and a half to the good, so I was just trying to save for green, white checker. And then at this track, you can't make a move too early. You'll just be a sitting duck. So I know I didn't want to be the leader, and I was kind of in a tough spot because I was behind Joe there. And I know he was in a must-win, but I was like, I got to try to win this thing. I come in second way too many times, and I came in second again. But I had to go for the win. I mean, it's what I'm here for, try to win. But congrats to Joe on the clutch win there.
Yeah, way to keep it really clean as usual. You're a dominant driver out there for sure. And yeah, second place, I'd kill to get second place just about over and over, But yeah, great effort out there. Great finish. Next week, you guys going to Talladega for the last race of the season. Check that. 2 weeks from now, the last race of the season at Talladega. You and the team got anything worked up? I know Bruce has been on board with you guys, giving you guys some encouragement and stuff. But do you have a plan going into Talladega?
Kind of the same as always. Try to be up front. I know now that we got Joe, myself, and Zeth in the final 10, I don't really want to. I want to work with them, but not at the end because I'm trying obviously the championship. So I'm gonna try to talk with Josh and see if him and I can maybe figure something out because he's not in anymore. But I'm gonna work with obviously my teammates up until the end. Then it's kind of every man for himself, so you can get it. But kind of the same game plan as always. Try to be up front. I don't like being in the back, as you guys know. I like being up front here. I feel like you can control more of your destiny than you can at the back. So that's the game plan going into Talladega in 2 weeks.
Perfect.
Well, awesome job tonight. As usual, Winker Nation was out there. Great job. Who would you like to give some shout-outs to?
Well, as always, you guys know Bruce Muehlberger Custom Homes, come board, sponsor me and Josh in all of our leagues. I know he watches every night, so can't thank him enough for coming on board. He told me I don't even have to run his logo on my paint, but I feel like I owe that to him since he sponsored me in all my races. So big shout out to him for always supporting us. Second, Winker Nation, my girlfriend Shauna, Brett, Nicole, Justin, Brandon, Dylan, all them guys every night that come out and support me. Can't thank them enough. Nate Cogdale at Sonic Graphic Design for the paint. Check him out on Facebook. Sonic Graphic Design if you need any paints. Teammates at Plus TV, Paul, Zeth, Josh, Joe, Patrick, Lucas, all them guys. We work well together. I think we got 3 in the top 5 tonight, so and then 4 in top 6. That's pretty good. Derek for putting this league on as always. We appreciate it, and then you guys for broadcasting. We can't thank you enough.
Awesome, man. Well, a great run indeed for that 42 machine here tonight, rounding out tonight with a second place finish, man. Congratulations, a great run, and good luck in a couple weeks coming up here at the season finale over there at Dega there, buddy.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
And with that, we move on up to tonight's race winner. It's going to be the original Florida man himself, Mr. Joe Bennett in the 00 machine. He's no longer a 00. He is number 1 here tonight, up 16 spots on the day to pick up your race win from iRacing Super Speedway. And we heard there from your teammate, Kevin Winker, a close fight to the end, but it was much needed for you there, Joe, as I guess this was a must-win situation for you.
Yeah. It was definitely a must win. I've been trying to win since I got myself suspended the first race, but big props to my teammates, and huge shout out to Skylar there at the end, man. Without that bump, I saw Kevin driving by me in my other monitor on here, and I'm like, oh my goodness, should have stayed low. And then he bumped me like right at the line, and it literally pushed me over the line like in front of him. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah, Skylar definitely mentioned it. He said, well, Joe Bennett either owes me a bump to another win later on, or you probably at least owe him a cold beer at some point. But you guys work together great out there. And Kevin mentioned that next week, or in the next race here in a couple weeks, when you guys are racing for everything for the championship out there, he's going to work with his teammates as much as he can. But hey, man, are you kind of on the same page as that? When it comes down to it, every man for himself.
Yeah, I mean that's the downfall of kind of having a good team, because everybody makes the chase, and then the last race resets all points. So it's it's to that point to where we're gonna help each other throughout the race, and then it's gonna be divide and conquer and pick and choose. And I just hope that we all have a great race, a great championship race.
Well, and you conquered tonight. Great job. Man, what a fun track this is. What a fun show y'all put on. Who would you like to give some shout outs to?
Well, big shout outs to my pops. He's over here watching the Darlington race with me right now, so he watched me win there. And shout out to my uncle. I think he's watching on stream. And of course, shout out to my teammates, Paul, Zeth, Kevin, Josh, Pat, Nathan, all season long, man. These guys have helped me. I've been top 3 points all season. Then I missed a race, missed a chase. So now I'm back in it for the final race. So I'm just overly excited, man. Like I said, shout out to my teammates, everybody else, you guys for broadcasting. Numb Thumbs, these leagues are great, man. You guys come race over here. It's fun. And yeah, anybody else watching out there?
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations to the 00 of Mr. Joe Bennett picking up the race win here tonight, and he is in for that championship run here coming up in a couple weeks there at Talladega, man. Congratulations. Go ahead, enjoy this victory, and good luck coming up in that final race.
Yes, sir. You guys have a good night.
And with that closes out all the interviews and everything. And fellas, another great race here at iRacing Super Speedway. Didn't see the big one that we were all expecting, but we did definitely see a couple decent medium-sized ones, that's for sure.
Yeah, man, we didn't have flag to flag. We didn't have the big wipeout yellow like you're talking about. It was somewhere in between, and I think that's what a lot of us like to see. You don't want to see something that's just agonizing to watch in either direction, but even though the last race was very competitive. This one was great, man. I really enjoyed it, and looking forward to the next race there at Talladega as we close this latest season out here of the Super Speedway League.
Yeah, this is an awesome race. iRacing Super Speedway. Pure mayhem here before they did the little repave. I think today it was great, man. I had a lot of fun. Looking forward to the finale there at Dega in a couple weeks.
Awesome indeed. So let's go ahead and kind of wind things down here from iRacing Super Speedway and tell everybody where their favorite driver ended up finishing here tonight. The 00 of Joe Bennett finishing this race up there in that top spot, picking up the race win. You got the 42 Kevin Winker up there as well, having a great run against his teammate, finishing in second. And 3, Skylar Herod having a great run as well, trying to close things up, but just couldn't quite get there. But a good run to round out that podium. You also got the 18, Joshua Moore. He's your hard charger of the race here tonight, finishing in 4th up 22 spots, having a fantastic run out there. He was definitely getting beaten, battered, and bruised, but he fought his way along there. 48 of Zeth Holly having a great run as well to find himself inside that top 5. You got the one of it's actually got it's got DW finishing there in 5th, and Zeth Holly in 6th. So my the screen I was looking at had it flip-flop. But either way, both drivers having a fantastic good run here tonight. You got Nick Biddy up there as well, having a great run, finishing tonight in 7th. Joe David in that 6th machine. Man, it looked like he could have possibly made a run at this one at the end as well, finishing tonight in 8th. PJ Cox having a great run in the 05, finishing in 9th, with the 5 of Anthony Williams rounding out your field's top 10.
Yeah, that finish between Ollie and Derek Welch, both were 0.273 behind the leader, so iRacing must have went to the 10,000ths of a second column to make that determination. So yeah, I was watching that as you were calling it out, and that's pretty unbelievable. That didn't happen very often here. Tim Stubblefield in 92 finishes in 11th. 12th place will be Paul Ferdiani in the 33. 13th place will be the 17 of Justin Lawson. Mark Collins in the 23 will finish in 14th place. 15th will be Tate Cawthorn in the 88. He is the last car on the lead lap there. The first car 1 lap down, Scott Milner in the 31 finishes in 16th. 17th place, Connor Leach in the 98. He said he took some abuse out there here tonight, out there on the YouTube channel. Brandon Coleman in the 19. Also 1 lap down, finishing 18th place. 19th will be Chris Jordan in the 78, who started way up in 9th. And rounding out your top 20 here tonight, Tom Barish in the 55.
I'm going to describe these last few drivers.
Sure.
The 73, Tom Keller. 21st, 76, Patrick Mahaney. 22nd, 23rd, 51, Chris Klein. 99, America's driver, Albert Anderson. And up 24th, 10 laps down. 25th, the 13 of Paul Durkee. 77, Tristan Cotton. 26, 89 of Michael Adamson. In last place there in 27th. And the review in the race is what I hear on the radio, but it's too late for that here.
Yeah, too late for us. We like to, just
But,
let it be. It is what it is. But what it is a fantastic time having all you out there in the chat here with us. We thank you guys so very much, because you guys are the reason why we do this and have such a good time of doing it. If you haven't done so already, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, so you get alerted every single time that we go live. And of course, if you like any of these videos and races, be sure to hit that thumbs up button as well, so we can continue growing this fantastic community that we got going on over here. We also like to thank the proud sponsors of the NTRL, like Martin Sports, Davidson Builders, DEP Graphics, Sim Gear Central, and Track Bar Media for being proud sponsors here all season long, and especially tonight's race sponsor of Gulf Coast Sands. Thank you guys for your continued support for a fantastic racing league, because without it, they wouldn't be able to put on the great show that you guys see here each and every single night. So big time thank you to all those great race sponsors. So with that, we close things down here tonight, but don't you worry, we're going to be back in action here tomorrow night as the penultimate, second to last race coming on up for the Next Gen Cup Series here for the NTRL heads on over to Daytona for some 80 laps of good old super speedway fighting. Man, it's essentially, I guess, a super speedway week for us, because the VRL is also on Wednesday going over to I believe it's Daytona, so it should be a fantastic week of high speed action indeed. But until tomorrow night, I'm Alan Brown for Alan English and Adam Turner. We're signing off.
Go Tigers.
yeah.